A small disclaimer. Today our time is limited, so I will not guide you through the basic setup step by step. Instead, I will concentrate on understanding how systems elements work together and which setup to choose depending on your use case. After that, we'll explore the interface, highlighting the result you can get after the setup. So now let's start. NimBus comprises the core functionality of satellite tracking system and specialized tools designed for passenger transportation management. With the help of NimBus, you can automate fleet management processes and monitor performance of rides, both in real time and upon completion. In a nutshell, the application allows you to do the following things: create or import basic elements needed to control passenger transportation, such as stops, routes, and schedules. Assign vehicles to rides or set up automatic assignment of vehicles. To control performance of the rides online, on the scheme and on the map. Get online notifications about the important events on the ride, like hurry, delay, connection loss, and others. Execute different type of reports to get access to the ride's history and assess their quality. Also, you can use our open API to create unique solutions tailored to the client's needs. And you can keep your passengers informed with the locator tool, which Oleg has already mentioned a bit earlier. First of all, I'd like to tell you a bit more about the basic definitions used in the application. So, basic elements of the systems are the following: units, stops, routes, schedules, and rides. To master the use cases, it is important to understand the flow of elements creation. So first you create stops, then based on them you create routes. For each routes you create schedules that are basically templates or a plan for every day. Afterwards you need to assign units to rides so that the system can register all the needed information for a ride according to the unit that performed it. So the ride basically connects a unit with the schedule. So keep in mind this difference. A schedule is a template and a ride is a one-time copy from this template. Also, a unit must be assigned. If there are no units assigned, there is nothing to keep track of. So now let's have a look at different tasks and how you can solve them with NimBus. Here I decided to unite the main use cases into a diagram, so let's take a look at it step by step. The first step is to figure out whether you deal with fixed schedules or not. Actually, there can be different schedules, say for working days or weekends. NimBus can easily deal with it, but your client or carrier must have some table that is more or less constant. Let's presume that there is one and continue with the left part of this diagram. We will get back to the no schedules situation a bit later. Then you pay attention to the way vehicles and schedules are connected. If the same vehicles usually perform rides for the same schedules, then you're good to go with schedules by time, and you can assign units to the schedules directly. In this case, all the rides will be created with the same unit assigned, and the only thing left for you is to monitor the units and control their performance. I will show you all the use cases a bit later, so don't be scared now. If the vehicles usually switch from one schedule to another, then you should pay attention to one more thing. Is there a plan for change of vehicles? Very often dispatchers have this plan for a day, week, or even a month. In this case, it is impossible to assign the same units for schedules because units change all the time. So it's best to assign units on the rights page, where you can choose the date and assign different units to the same schedules depending on the day. And if there is no way to know in advance where this or that vehicle goes, in this case you still can use schedules by time and choose to assign units to rides automatically. You'll need to associate some units with the route, and the system will assign one of them to the closest active write as soon as the unit visits the stop. And now, when it all got so very complicated, let's go back to the right part of our diagram and look at the case with no schedules at all. Actually, here we can use the same mechanism as in the previous one to assign units automatically. Only for this scenario, we went even further, and now it's possible to monitor writes without a fixed starting time. This is a curious concept, long awaited by our partners, so I really hope some of you will be happy to find out a bit about this brand new feature. So now you can create just one schedule that we call relative, select some units for your route, and, well, watch them working. Once any of the units associated with the route visits the first stop, a write is created and activated. The only thing you should keep in mind is that sometimes routes start from the same stop. So in this case, you better be careful and associate different units with these routes. Otherwise, the system just can't figure out which way the unit is going. So you probably noticed that two of the options are also marked by online to 0 label. To assign units to writes automatically became possible only in our new operational mode called online to 0. We won't stop on it in details now, but you can find some more information in our blog and other sources. And now I'm starting to share my screen, and we will see how it all looks in the reality. So here our starting point is the dashboard, and we will go to it a bit later. Now please pay attention at the top of the screen. Here we see the names of these basic elements I mentioned, right? So they lead basically to the corresponding pages. As I promised, we won't go through the setup step by step, and we just go to the routes page. Here I already created some routes to demonstrate you the use cases. So let's start with this 47. Inside the route you can see 3 tabs: stops, schedules, and units. We are interested in schedules now. And here you can see already created schedule, this big table, right? So I got prepared. For the first use case, when the same units go for the same schedule every day, the best way to assign them is over here. You just assign a unit to a schedule and click apply. This work a bit time-consuming in the first time, but later on, if nothing changes or changes very rarely, you just don't need to make any adjustments at all. So this is the first way to deal with schedules. Let's move on to the route number 57. Here we will use another approach. Here we also have some schedules. You can see them. But here we leave this input blank without any assigned units. You see, all the schedules are empty. Please keep this thought in mind, because later on the rights page I will show you how we will assign units here. So 57 is our second case where there is a plan, but units change from time to time. Our next case I will demonstrate on this purple route 1125. Here we also got some created schedules, right? It doesn't matter here whether we are gonna leave it blank or assign some units here. It doesn't matter, because for this route I decided to assign units automatically. So you need this flag to be active over here. And as I told you before, once one of these units enters the first stop, it will be assigned to the first active right. So here's our third case, and the last case is very special. There are relative schedules here. So I decided to leave it blank to show you how it works for a created route. So here we have no schedules for now, and you can see two options: by time and relative schedules. So we have already examined by time option that were my pre-created schedules in other routes, and now we will create a relative schedule. Here it is. You can change the numbers if needed, but the system make this on itself anyhow. And also you can choose operation period in case your vehicles go for a ride, for example, from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. Here on default, it's for the whole day. Also, for this feature to work, it is obligatory to use automatic assignment of units. So here you have to have something, right, to be picked. Otherwise, it just won't work. So here we save this route. And now let's move to the rights page, where I will show you how it works for different kind of routes. So what can we see here? For the routes with vehicles that were assigned to schedules, we see that the whole plan is pre-created by itself, so no actions needed. All the schedules are already connected with the units. Here are two of these routes, right? This is the most ideal case. Our second case was with schedule by time and manual assignment. So for this case, you need to go to the route and make the assignment here, right? For example, like this. Now, once the time comes, these rights are activated. So this case works well if there is plan, say for a week, because you can see we also have a calendar, and you can assign units not only for today, but say for the day after tomorrow. Here you go. You just assign units here and save your changes. Everything works smoothly. Let's go back to our today's schedule and review the third case. Here we can see that there also are rights that are going to happen, and also there are no units assigned here, but in comparison with the previous case, you don't need to make any manual assignments here, because once a unit visits the first stops, its name just will appear over here. The active rights are displayed in a blue frame, so it will be assigned to the first blue frame here. And as for the last case, relative schedules, as you can see, this is what's going to happen if your units don't go to the destination. You can see that no rights to display, and rights for this route will be created within the operation period of the schedule. But here the interesting thing that here there can be only active rights. Like there's no plan because we have no schedules, right? Okay, and now let's see what else can be interesting and useful for a dispatcher here. So we've got online tab. This is one of the main instruments, and as you can see, there are all of our routes with active rights. Also, you can see the vehicles that are displayed with these icons. If there is any hurry or delay, it is also displayed, and you can adjust the setting as you wish in user settings. Also, the detailed information is in the tooltip. Here we can see the time of visiting of the last stop, previous stop, and estimated time of arrival for the closest stop, right? And the schedule and how long ago we got data from this object, like for this unit, data relevance, we call it here. So also you can go inside the route to see it, well, to see the map, literally, if you need to see where exactly the unit is, because the linear scheme is not always so convenient, right? Sometimes you just need to see the map. So the same tooltips work here. Also, you can turn on unit names if needed. Let's go back. What else? Also, we have here filters, right? You can see only routes with units that go ahead of schedule, for example. And also you can filter them by type, say only buses. Here they are. So it all really helps a dispatcher when there are a lot of routes and it is really difficult to watch closely all of them. Another useful thing is dashboard. Let's go back to it. So here you can see the summarized information on all the parts, right? Summary about rides, summary about online rides, active rides, also stops and routes. Also, it is pretty handy because you can monitor this tab, and once there is a problem, say someone is ahead of schedule, you just can click on this block and go directly to the same page with the filter applied. So it is pretty useful for dispatchers. Also, there are online notifications. They just pop up from time to time here, but also you can always go back to them clicking this bell. Right, there is a filter on types of events. It can be ride activation without unit, stop skipped, hurry delay, unit left the route path, no show at first point, and connection loss. So also, oh, these are the old ones. Okay. Also, for some events, you can go to the map, but unfortunately we don't have them here at the moment, maybe later. Okay, what else can be useful here? Of course, NimBus not only helps you to monitor units online, but have some analytic tools, such as reports. There are different types of reports. I will not go into details right now. They can be either by unit or by route. It just will take too long. So here we will review one of the examples. It's we can see here that we can also choose the interval, for example, for 4 days, like I did. Also, all the reports are, you can export them in XLSX format. And here the information we have. Summarized info on all the rides, planned, fulfilled, not fulfilled. You can also manage these numbers in the settings, of course. Violations like behind schedule and ahead of schedule. And also, if we see, if we take a look at this chart, we can also expand it here and get all the detailed information, like what was the time on schedule and what was the actual time, right? And also all the deviations. It's pretty useful and, well, user-friendly, say. Also here we've got mileage, which is often important for our partners and their customers for driver payments. And one more interesting thing that I will show you is to see the ride on the map. Here you can make the whole analysis, see all the messages of the unit, and actually see this result in all the details here. Well, I think that it's time to wrap it up. because there are many interesting features in NimBus, but I will not cover them all today, unfortunately. But more information on step-by-step setup and the new operation mode online to zero, you can find in the meetup that Oleg Zherkovsky and I hosted in December 2020. It is called New Opportunities of NimBus, a major app update. I recommend you to check it out for the detailed explanations, because Oleg really is amazing at his job. Also, let me remind you that all the latest updates and descriptions of the new features are available on our forum, and there you can leave your requests and support each other with comments and likes. This way we know which features you need most. So you can also always contact me personally by writing to suvi@gurtam.com. Well, what can I say? Let's make NimBus even better together. Thank you for your attention.